Hey everyone, this is Namita. I'm back again today with our new topic, body language. I was having this class with my students, and some of them came up with the idea. We were discussing about communication, verbal communication, non-verbal communication. So everybody had to add on something to it. So some of them were saying that, no, ma'am, verbal communication is much more powerful than non-verbal communication. And we were having discussions, and so should I tell you the result, or maybe I should tell you the experience first? So I came up with a game for them, something very interesting. I feel that even you all should listen about it. So because we were playing online, or we were doing this Zoom call where we were talking to these students, so I gave one of these students one picture, and he was supposed to tell or narrate this picture. This picture contained okay, let me show you this picture. Picture contains a circle, a triangle, a parallelogram, a square, everything was there. Now this guy was supposed to narrate it to a girl. So any which ways, all these students don't like switching on their videos. This time I asked them for this game to switch off the videos. So one guy, Chunky, kind of narrated it to Kanika. So now when Chunky was telling Kanika, okay, make one triangle, circle inside the triangle, one parallelogram, and then Kanika came up with this picture, which is really funny. You must have a look at it. I had drawn something really different from what Chunky was trying to explain. Then we started having a discussion on communication. So I told them that the researches which have been done on communication, it says that the content, like what we are talking right now, carries only 7% weightage. 37% weightage is of the tone of the voice, or the pitch of the voice at which we are talking. If we are talking very slow, it becomes like underconfident. We seem underconfident, and if it is at a higher pitch, it becomes overconfident, or I sound as aggressive to you. So the pitch of the voice. So now the rest left is 54%, 56%. 56% is body language in communication. If we are giving 100 marks to communication, 56% weightage is carried by body language. Now body language carries hell of an important role, right? So now I came up to that exercise back again, and I told them that here in this exercise, what we had done was I had removed that 56%, that body language. So now Chunky could not see Kanika could not see him, and they had to do this exercise, or they had to play it amongst each other, and the results were entirely different. So for effective communication, for me, if I am the speaker and you are the listener, what are the important parts and what we forget? The important part is, as a speaker, it is my responsibility that I give you an overview. I give you an overview or the larger picture of the vision or the exercise that we are going to do. As a listener, also it is your responsibility to ask that what is the vision? What am I supposed to do? Why are we doing this? So asking questions was a very important part of this exercise. But were we really asking questions? To have an effective communication, that I need to draw it on my left or I need to draw it on my right. You know, when I make students play these exercises in banks or in organizations, it is really funny. On that one big sheet, they will only draw one circle. Maybe there are 10 figures. And then they'll say, ma'am, can I have one more paper? Can I clip it on? And it becomes really funny to see how simple things become so difficult when we have to communicate without the body language, without the tone of the voice. And now imagine our world full of emails where we cannot see any emoticons. Thanks to this social media, you have emotions there that you can add on, which makes communication more effective. But on an email, you can perceive it the way you want. The words which have been written, they can have 10 meanings, and we can think about it on those 10 lines. So we have to be very careful when it is written communication. Coming back to body language, so I was trying to make them understand why is it so important. So some of them were saying, no ma'am, verbal communication is important. What I am saying is important. Really? What you are saying is really that important? Actions speak louder than words. Now, actions include all the non-verbal communications, right? So we know if our actions are saying something else and my words are saying something else, I keep on saying I love you, and then I keep on dating other men, right? So my actions are speaking something which is entirely different from what I'm trying to communicate here right now to you. So the actions are anyways louder because words have lost their weight. शब्द खोखले हो गए हैं. We have lost that weightage or lost that importance which words used to carry in themselves. Words have lost the weightage, as I said, and the body language, it cannot lie. You know, no matter how much practice we do. So there is this one student, he comes up with this one question and he says ki ma'am, the emotion, maybe if I'm happy I'll be happy for some time, if I'm sad I'll be sad for some time, so you can fake it for a while, which is very true, a valid question. Body language changes, the meaning of non-verbal communication changes as the time changes. So for example, if it is an eye contact, we are having it for a few seconds, it means that I'm acknowledging that you're there in front of me. If it is going longer, so now there are still legal laws that I cannot stare at you. It goes into the definition of staring. If I'm touching you, if I'm patting you, very good, well done, it is very good, like our parents do. But if I'm doing it as a boss, as my team, what is the equation there? It is not advisable. We have to be careful when it comes to touch, because touch is again a non-verbal communication, and we don't want to be misunderstood. We don't want any kind of disturbance to our goal which we've set for ourselves. So knowing body language, so I accepted it. I said, yes, it is very good, it is very true. But knowing what the other person is thinking, how interesting it makes our conversation. I get to know what you are actually thinking. It makes it very interesting. So if I'm doing my hands like this, it shows that I'm in kind of scare. If someone comes to you and kind of pounces you, your hands go or your fingers go behind. So now if my fingers are closed, it means I'm kind of in a paused position. You need to poke me further to get the information out of me. My fingers are two are here, two are separated. It means that I'm not sure I am going to be which kind of personality. So there are many things we'll be doing in different videos later on about the handshake, about the eye contact, about the smile, about the touch, about the smell. So all these things, any which ways, they signify one important factor, which is that non-verbal communication or body language, the gesture, the posture, the way we speak, the way we look, the way we talk, they all are 10 times more powerful than our words. This is the truth of life. So we have to be very careful how someone is using the hands. So if my hands while talking to you are going like this, it seems that I'm an honest person, and my hands are closed, it means that I am in a closed position. I'm not open to whatever you're trying to say. On the other hand, it will be considered a little defensive position. So looking at the hands, looking at the fingers, the more in detail we go, the more interesting it becomes. If we are a man and there is a female that we are talking to, or a female is talking to a male, the rules go slightly different, which we'll be talking further moving ahead. The interesting part was that all these students, they were coming up with different and very interesting questions. Somebody was asking the time, that how is time impacting? The other person was saying, ma'am, I can actually fake it. So I said, yes, there is an important line, fake it till you make it. So when I started giving these trainings, initially I was not that confident either. At that day I was probably faking, but today I know what I am talking. So you have to practice. Practice makes the man perfect. And the other important logic is that there is no replacement of knowledge. You need to have knowledge. Knowledge gives you conviction, and then you practice. So by practicing, by having good knowledge, we can see there is one more road, rather than reacting. You have to understand what is the other person's perspective, where he or she is coming from, what is his body language, how he is behaving. If you can see that the person is agitated, then why do we have to agitate him more, right? So this is something which makes our life easier, comfortable, and body language makes us more intelligent. So thank you for watching this, guys. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel below.